guys doing? Just hanging out. Okay. Glad you guys are starting to get along well. That's awesome. Started playing a little bit with my sound absorbing boards. Cool thing is the other side of that is actually sound reflecting. It's a smooth, I think it's just Luan. They're 4x8 panels. Thought I'd play with this a little bit to see. I've got two more. I may actually spin them around behind me here and see if that helps a little bit with the live sound in this room. Just trying to make things a little more audible, intelligible as we watch the Super Bowl. Anyway, I like having fun stuff to play with, and it's part of why we wanted to do the shop. Kind of never get tired of this view in the evening. Just as the sun's going down, we get some gorgeous, gorgeous sunsets here. Well, today I got a bunch of stuff I need to move around. Picked up yesterday a welder, so Mike should be happy about that. I guess he's got some kind of a chair that's got a broken weld on it. Welding helmet, new power for the shop. I may try and run this cord from the well over in, so I get some on one side of the door, some power, and then the other existing cord I'll probably run down the wall. I want to start working on a PC and some other things in there just so I got some projects I can do in the shop that don't require me running around too much. This big brown box on the bottom actually came from BX Expander. It's kind of a dolly that I can use to put the backhoe on. So in their video, it looked like it was super easy. I wrestle with that anytime I try to take that off of the tractor and switch over to the 3-point. So hopefully that'll make it easy. In case you're wondering why it's all loaded in the truck, well, that's because it's raining, and that's a lot of stuff to carry from here over to the shop building and up the stuff. So I'm trying to still take it a little bit easy on my body, let my body heal a little bit. So I'm just going to drive the truck over, and right now I'm undercover, and I'll drive the truck over undercover in the shop, and then I can unload it at my leisure and not get rained on. So these are some of the other advantages. I think it's kind of cool to have the shop available to us. See if I can do all this one-handed. So super long drive over to the shop. So pull up here. Eventually we're just going right there. But we'll pull up, get the truck spun around, aimed in the right way. Eventually I got to do something with that trailer too. Let's see if you can see what I end up seeing. Oh, that's right, because the tailgate's down. All right, let's get the truck spun around, not run into any of my trees. Hopefully Chris is going to come out and cut that tree down. That one's straight ahead. I want to have cut down. It also shades the solar panels during the day, especially in the afternoon. Then there's one that shades the solar panels in the morning. I'm going to have him cut down, but as you can tell, it kind of leans towards the house. Makes me a little nervous, so we've got to fix that. Whoa! Almost dropped my phone. It's not easy to juggle all this stuff and then make sure I don't run over stuff. All right, so let's get backed up. I can't tell if I'm going to run over anything like the cat. I think that's about good. All right, let's see if I can get this stuff unloaded. One of the parts is just going to go and get stored here somewhere. Let me see if I can make this a little easier. Been trying to get some of my toys set up so I can film a little bit better in here, but let's see. What do I need? Probably could use a cart. I don't know if I have a cart. Yes. Over there. Let me run around and grab that. This is my most recent Disney acquisition. Total of $10 for this cart. But it definitely makes doing things around here way, way easier. Welding helmet. A welder. Oh, forgot to mention, we got trolley. That is for the gantry that I haven't put together yet. And not sure. It in theory has wheels. You can find it component. But for now, set it over there. Just thought about that. I tried to mic myself up. I'm kind of far away from home. You? Okay. See what all we can get going here. Rearrange some things. Oh, we got some light there. So off over here, I have my pile of gantry stuff. Gantry's in the box. It's the chain hoist and the trolley. So that's just waiting to be assembled. I got a lot of projects that just need to get done. I'm trying not to kill myself here. That would be bad. All right, so I got one power cord running from the well, coming up into here and running that power strip. Then I have the one coming from the house. Kind of ran up behind here. Looks like I need to tuck that in a little bit better. See if we can get that going this way. Get that kind of kicked out of the way. And that goes all the way down that way to kind of where the desk-ish bench is. So we'll be able to use that here. I need to find a power strip. I know I have like dozens of them. I found this little cube, but I'd like to find a regular power strip. Put that in there, and then I can start playing with either the Mac or the PC or both in here. Get that running, get the monitors set up. Karen gave me a hand carrying some of this stuff out and got a C-stand set up. For those that don't know, this silver stand there is a C-stand. On top there, what's holding that fluorescent light, well, it's actually LED light tube. Looks like a fluorescent tube though, is what's called a meat axe. It's a Hollywood thing, I guess. Guess because when you take that off, you could swing it at somebody and it's it would hurt. So we got a light here on the bench. I got the dual monitors set up. The monitor stand actually came from Disney Attractions, came from Property Control, and then the monitors were ones that I got to set up for my home office. So Disney's helped a little bit with getting this going. So I want to get this set up so I can test my other workstation and my Mac, possibly, and get a PC running out here. Might be the Mac at first because I have no Ethernet connectors here, and I think my PCs are all of the style where they've got an Ethernet. They assume that you're going to plug an Ethernet jack into them. I don't think they're wireless. Might be able to scrounge up a wireless card, but that brings on a whole another project. But anyway, trying to get some stuff set up here. Yeah. Hey Thor, what you doing? Whoa, you want your belly rubbed? Is that what you want? Just hanging it with me in the shop, huh? So, I got bored. It's coming up on lunchtime, so a couple projects I need to sort out. One is the shed there. I don't really want it in the front yard. I'd kind of like to clean all that stuff up and get it moved somewhere else so that we have a clean looking yard from the front yard. Oh my gosh. Sit here. Just tells you how often we just get visitors here. So there's 3 deer up by the oaks in the front yard, just having a snack. I love my house. All right, so squirrel. No, actually deer. So I'm going to see if I can scout out another spot to put that shed. And the trailer originally I thought might go into the shop, but it takes up a whole lot of room, so I'm not sure. And then we got all that tin that we got from the siding. I want to put that around the well and get that cleaned up. Now, some time ago in another video, somewhere in the ether, I was getting ready to move that shed when we were trying to clear this area when I thought the shop was originally going where that shed is. So I had set it up and rigged it so that we could drag it somewhere else. And it should work pretty well once it's empty. It's mostly empty now. But I'm wondering where I want to put that. Now the logical place for that, as I walk around the back side of the shop here, would be in this area. This area I kind of have some firewood. That wood, this tree right in the middle there, that big tall one, that one I want to have cut down because it's actually right now you can see its shadow there. It was a little earlier in the day shading the solar panels on the house. So that's not too good. A little later in the day there's the one in the front that'll shade the other side of the solar panels from the opposite direction. But as of right now, so the shooting range is there. We've got what's left of the chicken coop that the previous owner had started sitting here. Now running through the middle of this, that kind of low spot, is the river drainage area I had created for the water when it fills up in this space. Most of it's going to go either that way or down towards the side. But it seems like the logical place to put that shed would be kind of in here somewhere. This is where we were going to put, if we did a fixed chicken run, chicken coop would go. So I'd have to figure out how to drag it around that side of the house, past the compost pile, and bring it to rest in there. I don't really know that I want to bring in a whole bunch of dirt to have that sit up. So I may just put it on concrete blocks or something like that, but that'll take some effort to get it drug over here, jacked up, leveled, and such. So that'll be a project for the future, but I'm trying to figure out how to plan this all out. That's part of the struggle I have, is I have so much going on, and so many of these pieces can interact with each other. You got to kind of get them planned out. So I'm kind of giving you guys the insider view of what I have to go through to try and figure out where all this stuff goes, how to deal with it, where drainage is, how to make things look nice, and so forth. The weather out here in Florida, there's a lot of rain, so that's 68 feet times 2 rain gutter. But when the water right now comes down, it hits the ground, and it's all spattering mud up onto my doors and up onto the entryways and such. Finally got around to trying twisty. Interesting concept here in Florida. Drive-through ice cream. Gotta love it. It's that moment of truth. All right, so I found this at Property Control. Kind of matches the other desk that we got going on there. A little shorter, better height. The legs are kind of, the feet I should say, are broken, so I'm gonna, I think, order wheels for it. But it actually ends up matching, or kind of going with, this other table, which is good. And turns out this was from Pier 1 Imports. But I got a good deal on it, so that's fine. And it matches, so we're all good. So here's an interesting predicament. This leg is the one that I want to replace. See if I can get things in line and see what I'm up to. No, it's going to be fudging a little bit. All right, so this is my gauge. All right, so it fits on there at the pitch. And this is a, get it to focus on it, a 20. So it's a 20 pitch. I think it's 3/8, which is that size there. Ooh, but it's not. Let's see. It slides through there, so it's smaller than 3/8. My next, ooh, it's 5/16. Maybe. I'm doing terrible camera work. This is the wrong pitch, but it seems like it is probably 5/16. Or I'm completely off and this is metric. So let's test that. All right, so it's also a 1.25 metric. That fits in there just right. So what size is it metric then? Well, that kind of tells me this spins on there with no issues. There's no wiggle. And of course it went onto the floor. Oh good, it didn't roll to the south side of the building. That's a good thing. All right, so if I spin this off, this tells me for sure, it's hard to do these things one-handed. It is an M8 1.25. So that's the size caster I need to find to make these work. I have no idea how scientifically you would figure that out without having gauges and things like that to sort these pieces out. So that's one of the things that's nice to have in a shop, getting things well equipped so that if I need to find a caster that works, I can be absolutely sure when I go hunt for it that I'll order the right part. Now what would be nice is if these cables and things were plugged into, oh, say, my Mac. I think that's a project for tomorrow. Then I could sit here at this desk and search for these parts and bring them up on the screen and off we go. But that's for another day. Well, I'm working on getting the wheels on this table that I got from Property Control. Turns out it was from Pier 1. I think I mentioned that earlier. But I didn't realize Pier 1 sold furniture that was so expensive. I don't know if several years ago when this one was bought, if they were still on the expensive side or if they were cheaper then. But anyway, let's see if I can get this in the shot. Three of the wheels on. There's those two. There's another one on the other side of the Apple boxes. Tell you, I still love that I've got enough room in here and enough space and tools to get things done. Apple boxes are something that the TV industry used to level things and bring things up to height, and just having those things around in the shop is so awesome. Anyway, I got one more leg to put on here and I'm squaring up each of the legs. They've got bolts where all of these cross members fit in. And they got a little tweaked over time, so I'm trying to stretch those out, tighten them back up, get it all nice and square so it rolls around the shop. Definitely got to teach these cats to relax more. It's Thor. And that's Loki. Just kind of curled up. Wish I could get that relaxed when I sleep. Well, I'm finally getting around to changing the oil on the Tacoma. So I had a lot of my stuff laid out. Got some tools going. Got the oil filter out. Most of the stuff under here, I realized maybe I should have cleaned the engine before I started this, but yeah, we'll get her done. Note to self, when you drop the drain plug for the oil pan into the pan you're using to recover the oil, don't use your flashlight with a magnet or your magnet with a flashlight in it to dip into that used oil and try and retrieve the drain plug. It worked. Oh, it worked just fine, but this isn't really made to be put in oil. So there was a bit of cleanup to do after that. All right, there we have it. The finished table. Get me in the shot. And it's got coasters. Casters. That's what I was looking for. It's got casters on it so we can roll around and get it wherever we need it in the shop. You got a little spot for me to put all my projects. There we go. We got Chris out here to take down a couple trees. Got to work on this one. I just didn't feel like I should be doing that, but he's expert.
Oh my god.